Buddy, good to see you as always. And thank you to all the people that have become members of the channel. That really speaks to me, a lot. And make sure that you leave comments inside on things you want to see inside that members area, like especially on the members content, members only content that I've been posting so far, which is not a lot, but I'm going to post more. Probably make a video this weekend of some of the projects I got going on. So thank you very much. Yeah, 3-day weekend. Closed on Monday. Closed on Monday. Oh, look at that. Welcome, Goose, to the crew. And I guess before we start talking anything at all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation, intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, is not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument. If you desire that personal financial advice, get a hire, consult a financial advisor. Basically means I tend to be good at predicting things. I get stuff right. I get lucky a lot, right? I tend to get lucky. But my luck may run out. I may never get another thing right again. So don't trade stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them, don't buy stuff from gurus. And if you need somebody to tell you what to do, that's not what I do. You're going to have to hire somebody that's certified to be telling you what to do. Remember, that's not me. Not me. All right. So we had PCE coming out this morning. PCE. Right here. And we came out in line. Basically what I said. We probably have an inline read. We were in line. So I figured they would do that. That was what it looked like it was going to do. And the market says, no surprises, no nothing. So we're moving on. We have revised consumer sentiment coming up at 10 after the market opens. Dun, 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 dun. Then we have next week, we have the market closed on Monday. Labor Day. Right there. This week. So we've got Labor Day holiday on a Monday. So bank holiday for the U.S. I guess Canada also. 51st Great White State. And Tuesday will come in. Nothing pre-market, but we got ISM manufacturing at 10 o'clock. Wednesday, nothing really. We got some JOLTS jobs after the market opens. Thursday, we've got just the normal unemployment stuff. Then after the market opens, we get some ISM services. And Friday, pre-market, we get the jobs reports. So could be a spicy day on Friday, depending on how the jobs goes. Are they going to tell the truth? I mean, they basically revised the numbers down and lost 1 million jobs just a week ago or whatever. Or nearly 1 million jobs, which is pretty much all the jobs that Biden claims he made. Yeah. I don't know. They're going to tell the truth? I don't know. We'll see. You know, we've got the Fed pivoting from fighting inflation to trying to support labor markets. And I guess that's the big pivot that happened last week with the Jackson Hole Symposium. Time for a policy change is to change from trying to fight inflation to now trying to support full employment, which I guess they're just going to let inflation go. If you cut rates now, be careful. And as I've commonly said that if we blow out the carry trade that buys all the debt for the U.S., what happens next? What happens next? You know, if the biggest customer can't buy our debt, that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Anyway, that might come to head maybe toward the election, maybe after the election. I guess we'll see what happens. So, all right. Happy Labor Day, everybody. I probably will be live on Monday. I think that's my plan. Trying to remember if the boss has anything for me. I don't think anything that morning. I'll probably do a crypto special that morning. Come do a live crypto update. That's what I typically do on any market closed holiday during the week. So I'll spend that morning. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15. you can probably count on it. And then I'll go get into something else and enjoy the rest of the day. All right. Sound good, everybody? Let me know. And let me know in the chat if that sounds good or if you got some other idea. And let's get into it, I guess. Pitter patter, let's get at her. Yeah, crypto never sleeps. That's true. True, 100% true. Crypto never stops, never sleeps, never quits. Choochin', as you might say. All right, Meta. Nice. That's a 1 minute time frame. And ha, I got 2 fruit flies just right there. I think that was all of them. I think there were 2 that were hanging out here. I think I just got the last 2. Anyway, getting hungry. They were trying to eat me, I guess. There's nothing in. There's no food in here. I don't think they drink Monster. So. Anyway, grape Monster Day. One of my favorite flavors. And let's pop back over to the S&P. ES has... So, Sergio, if you're here, I got those fruit flies. Got them. Finally got them. I think they're all gone. Anyway, let's see. Jumping down. There's a... So yesterday, let's go to a clean chart so I don't have to erase any of my stuff. And ES1 exclamation point. Look right here. Let's just clear this stuff. This is a different layout. If you're unfamiliar with TradingView, you can save layouts. This is a different layout, so I can draw on it clean and not worry about my ongoing analysis. And all right, so we have that low. We got this high right there. We retraced to a 618 right there. This was the low. This was the high. Using the 2-point tool, 2-point fib tool right there. Did a 618 retrace. This could be a potential measure bounce, right? Could. Hey, Charlie. Good to see you. You and Goose hanging out. To be careful now. All right. Don't get in any trouble. Now, that high, this low. So I commonly use the 2-point tool on swings. All right, swing highs, swing lows. So here's the swing low. This is the low I'm interested in. This is the swing high. This is the high I'm interested in. Ran a fib tool there and got the 618 here, right there. Now, moving forward, this is the first point, the high, and this is the low, upside down now. And the 618 here is a point I'm interested in. And we held here, and we held here. There's the 15-minute roadmap line right in the freaking middle. This is basically a giant coin flip at this point. A giant coin flip. And right there. Giant coin flip. So, where does that leave us? That's a good question. Good question indeed. I don't know. This can break out, go cruising up. This can break down, go cruising down for a bigger correction. Lower low here, higher high here. Slightly, maybe 55% biased up. I'm very cautious though. Look at this. Look at this price action coming into this. We've not been able to break the highs. Set up a pretty good resistance in here. Pretty good resistance right there. Support, we poked below. Reacted violently. Just to wind up to poke on through? Question mark. I don't know. So be careful right there. There's no real solid indication which way we're going in the short term. All right. Starting out the small time frame here. So we got these 2 zones. These are cautionary zones, if you will. We poke down below it. We're probably going down here. We poke above this. We're probably coming up here. Neither one of those makes us really new highs at this point or new lows. We're just kind of stuck in a holding pattern here. Now, zooming out to the daily chart, zooming this back in, back on the analysis I've been on. After we finish up this correction we're potentially in, I do kind of expect us to go up to 5,800. And this is ES, this is the futures. Why futures? Because the S&P 500 chart's not quite as clear. All right, we could go down, get that gap fill before we go up. Still think we're probably destined to go visit 5750, but the market can always prove me wrong. We did the things that I was looking for to indicate we would get this one push up higher, but there's no guarantees. All right, anything's possible in the market. There's just high probability patterns. High probability is we're going up, but I have to keep an eye on that lower time frame because, well, it's indicating that it may break down. May break down. That's what we just went through right there. Holding the 5 minute. That's positive. We're in an uptrend in the 5 minute. 15 minutes. Like I said, that roadmap line right in the middle of that. Those two 618s. This chart right there, two 618s right there. We're right in the middle, roadmap line. So a flat roadmap line doesn't tend to be very strong. Flat, thin roadmap line. So, people have asked me, like, well, if you were reading into the roadmap line, how would you read it? When it's big and fat and sloped really good, it tends to be a little stronger support. All right. You can see this over here. Big and fat, nice slope, nice support, but then it started arcing off. We sliced through it. Now it's flat and thin, just kind of muddying it up all over the place, getting below it, just slicing through it left and right. So that's, I don't trade that. I'll trade according to that, but it's something I keep in the back of my mind when we're, steep and fat. It tends to be good support, but then we arc off and get thin. It may not be very strong support and resistance. It still tends to be, but we can slice right through it pretty easily. That's why when the roadmap line gets flat and thin, you can barely even see it right there. It got to be a little more cautious in the market. So I'm optimistic we're going higher. All the, lots and lots of stuff set up that way. But I would be remiss if I didn't warn you that there's cracks in the wall. All right. So market opens in like 30 seconds. And then this one will start moving. Come on now. Zoom up. There we go. There we go. So probably going up, but there's the opportunity to go down. And if we break down below the red zone again, probably coming down here at the minimum, maybe setting up for a bigger, deeper correction, take back the entire move up since 2022, October 2022, easily take that all back. So if we start breaking down below the red zone and the roadmap line, that's your indication we're going to flush the toilet. All right. In Q, still not out of this funk yet. Made it to the top of the box and retraced almost the entire box at this point. Now, the good thing is that we pushed through yesterday, kind of back testing, pushing through potentially today. If we can get higher than these highs right there, odds are we got the all clear. We're going up for an all-time high. So I'm setting my alert right there around 19,727-ish, 19,720, 19,700, basically 19,700, 19,700. We get up through those highs, probably going to go retest the top and maybe head to all-time highs. We've kind of already tip the scales, the odds that we're probably going to do it. And that would just kind of set up some confirmation that we're probably going on up is the next move. Russell, nice bounce off the 1 hour and trying to push higher. Just sitting here, a little bit lower high, but that's set up to push on out to 2250 at least. You may be like, well, how do you trade ES, NQ, and RTY? That's easy enough. Just SPY. And don't make it overly difficult. SPY for ES, QQQ for NQ, and IWM for the Russell, for the RTY. All right, that's 3 ETFs you can trade for those right there. Chart pattern, very similar. CL, this one's getting kind of wild. We're still stuck in the watermelon seed squeeze. This is looking a little weak here. If we poke out the bottom, this thing may flush down. If it flushes down, the incumbent may get reelected and promoted to a higher office. Just saying. Cheap gas prices. People vote with their wallet. Watch out for that to break down. GC. Gold. Come on. Zoom up. Just hanging. Oh my goodness. We're just hanging. That's a lot of... We're down. We're right back up. I mean, it's just like we keep doing that move where we get a pullback and then we take it right back. We get a pullback and we take it right back. They're getting smaller. This can be indicative of hunting for a top. So we're either going to break out and make another run, another leg higher, or we're hunting a top, possibly at that 2570 to 2600 on gold. And then we may do a knee-jerk pullback a little bit. So we're either going to make the next advanced higher, or we're going to get a bigger pullback. I mean, you're like, well, that's unclear. Those are the two things you got to be prepared for. The next, and it could be the next leg higher and a pullback. Like it, can combine both of those. I know a lot of people have trouble with the way I say things, but because 90% of the time the market can be very unclear. That's why I hunt for patterns I hunt for that are clear. Bitcoin's still in a downtrend until we can break above this high. I mean, that's pretty much it. And even if we look at the spot markets, till we can break above that stuff, we're just stuck right here on the roadmap line. Just stuck. Like glue. That thing flattened out. It hadn't gotten thin yet, but it may get thin if we hang out here much longer. Yeah, it was nice sloped up, resistance there, support there, moved away, started flattening on out. We broke down through. Kind of see how it works. Now that we're flat, it's not really indicative that we've got that momentum anymore. Ethereum still looks like it wants to go lower. One more flush. We may see that over the weekend. We could. Now, typically, not guaranteed, but typically 3-day weekends are more bullish for crypto. I don't know. I guess the rest of the world likes to push it around while the U.S. market's closed, but we'll see what happens. Crypto could pop, but no guarantees ever in crypto. No guarantees ever in the market, period. Dollar seems to be respecting that support so far. Coming up, we may go back up, test that zone, test those lows before we turn down again. I do think we're probably set up for a move down, but it can correct. It can correct all the way up. I've got lots of stuff drawn in this chart, but it can correct all the way back up to these highs right here, or lows. I guess lows where it kind of double bottom there and then broke down through. We could test all the way back up to there, and it still be set up for going much lower. Mid-90s, really where I expect it to go. And it may take out to next year, possibly late next year to get there. NKD, still working on that zone. If we can break above there, Japanese futures probably going up to 44. Not a bad shake. So what's moving and shaking today? MDB, look at that pop, but still well below the roadmap line. This could be a measured bounce. If we can get above, that can be set. We do have the downtrend of highs, but this may be on a path to 1,000 with the measured bounce we did. That move up, that retrace, boom, right up to 1,000. That'd be a wild move. We were talking almost 3x, possibly even 5x from right now. Just on shares, you could buy a couple shares. ADSK. Dun, 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 dun. ADSK. Autodesk. Still kind of stuck in this range. Like, we did that watermelon seed squeeze, popped up, returned right back down to it after we did basically the full move. You see the size of the move right there? We did the full move and then right back down to it. Now, if we can break out, we could, in fact, go higher. 389, maybe. Looks pretty gnarly. Could take a while. It's all really flat, choppy action. If you don't know what they do, they make design software for, I draw in CAD. I've probably used AutoCAD more than any other computer program. Not operating system, but computer program. So even more than a trading platform. I've probably used AutoCAD more than that. So this could break higher, but it's indicative that there's not high demand for design software right now. FNGU, DG dumped on talking about the weak consumer. That was big news yesterday, I guess. FNGU just kind of sitting. FANG's not being super strong. This is a 3x leverage. Be careful on leverage. Right there. Be careful on leverage. And Netflix. Target's still 716 on Netflix. Came up just shy of it. We got really darn close, but just shy. Still up there, 716. ASML. Just hanging on the roadmap line. Nothing clear. Nothing. No high probability setups. SMCI getting a little relief rally, but still in the path. Still in the path. We're scraping the top of the bubble now. Scraping the top of the target zone. May come all the way down. 280, maybe even the bottom, 200. Could even go back on further down near 100, where we were consolidating on back down here. Even possibly back to the 50s. Ooh, that'd be pretty rough, especially if you got long at 1200. This may never go back to 1200 again. Just throwing that out there. Some kind of reports on scams and making up numbers and whatever. Be careful. Lulu. Me and Lulu don't get along. This was on the poppers list. Now it's on the droppers list. Still hunting a bottom. Still has not been able to reverse higher yet. There's resistance. Then may do this. If it doesn't, we may come on down lower. Where's the target lower? Gosh. Like down here. 100. Ugh, that's like a 50% retrace from where we are now. MRVL. Chips not superheroes. Marvel. Just chopping around, but this kind of has set up the potential to go up to 91, which is right at all-time high. You may see it pop up there and stop. Still stuck on the roadmap line. That's resistance. We get above the 618 here. 200 is the upside. Watch out for the rejection and a drop down here, the 65 area. SOXX. Dell is a larger customer of NVIDIA than SMCI. And they make basically the same stuff, like AI research servers. Dell does have a consumer segment, whereas SMCI, not really like into that making computers for you and me, but you and I, whatever. I don't know. SOXX stuck kind of in between resistance and support and not indicating chips are going anywhere. CRWD stuck on the roadmap line. If we break above, could be indicative we're going on up. CrowdStrike. So it looks like the, with the earnings and stuff that they posted, the big drop was unwarranted. I mean, but it was a correction that we needed. Measured bounce potential sets it up for potentially going up here. Right up in here. 600. There's lots of stuff I need to buy a couple shares of. Buy a few shares of. AVGO. Stuck right there. Resistance. If this turns down, 106. If it breaks through, like 190. SMH. Turn it down at resistance. This is cautionary on a lot of these chips. Cautionary, cautionary, right there. Ba-ba. Still hasn't broken through that. We came up and then we gapped down right there. And then we came up through and we pull back there. We got to beat this zone to be going on higher. I have much loftier targets if we can get out of this funk right here. We set up this big, move up, and a retrace. Got to get through this to get the target. The target can be all the way up here at like 180, but it's just not doing it yet. Not doing it yet. Abercrombie & Fitch. Ooh, that's starting to look like a big head and shoulders. This is starting to look like the bubble pattern. Be careful. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Watch out for the breakdown. My goodness right there. Basically, the bubble pattern. Oh, wrong tool. Sorry. Consolidate. Break down. If you've not seen this before, check it out right here. Go up, break down, consolidate, and take it back. Right there. Be careful. Abercrombie looking a little bit like, maybe you could, if we break down through that roadmap line, you could almost short it down to 40, or maybe 60. It'd be a pretty big trade right there if you were able to do that. Thank you, Brian. Thanks for being a supporter of the channel. Becoming a member. I appreciate it. And AMAT. Just hanging at the roadmap line. Not able to break above. Not breaking down. Just hanging. Just hanging. QCOM. Also just hanging. Lots of stuff just hanging. PDD. I do have a bonus trade coming up at the end. Bonus trade coming up at the end. Stick around to the very end. PDD. Is it a bottom? I don't know. I don't know. If this can hold here, we could go on up. If it doesn't hold here, well, I mean, look, we did. This is why I'm so concerned about that 618 resistance on a lot of those things coming up and stopping right there. That right there. And that happened in like almost 3 days on PDD. I mean, look at that. Gap down. 1, 2, 3. 3 days to the bottom. Now, that could be a bottom, but it also could just be an intermediate. We could make a move like this, back up, kind of like this, almost fill the gap, and then make another extension down. That's why I don't want to mess with this really right now. That and it's China stuff, but hey, keep it all in perspective. So we've got that 618 coming up all the way up here. But if we don't if we do a retrace and hold below this low right here, if we do a retrace and hold below that low and start back down again, probably coming on down. It's an important level right there. Important level to watch. If you're interested in PDD. If you're not interested in PDD, don't watch it at all. All right, Tesla. Still the same stuff. Still the same stuff. Resistance up here, support down here. We're hanging in the middle. As long as we're in the middle, there's no, I mean, flip a coin. Like, there's no high probability thing set up. It's almost like we've almost got the same pattern we have on ES. I mean, look at that. We came up to the 50% on the upside. Now it's just upside down. We did the first move down. We did the retrace off of that. Right here, this low, this high, to the 50% right there. So we've done the 50% and the 50%, and we're just sitting in the middle. It's almost just like the ES chart I started out with, the same pattern, except this is on a daily chart, and it's Tesla, and we started out down first, up, and there's no, as long as we're in the middle, we're in the middle. All right, we are below resistance. We are above support. Doesn't really tell us we're doing anything on Tesla right now. Seeing a lot of that in the market, here and there and everywhere. LABU, stuck on that resistance. This can be indicative we fail the pattern and go back lower. This is leverage biotech. That's two things combined. Leverage stuff doesn't always follow the patterns. Biotechs don't always follow the patterns. Combine those together, you got a wild card on your hands. So be careful on LABU. TECO, another leveraged thing. Maybe like, how do you know they're leveraged? Well, right there, 3x. That's leveraged, all right? 3x leverage. Now, if you see 2x, 1.5x, those are all leveraged. If you see Ultra, leverage. See Ultra Pro, leverage. All right, those all keywords for meaning leverage. DDOG, just kind of hanging at the roadmap line, not really indicating we're going higher or lower. Now, we did turn down here and went lower low. That could be a bottom. Doesn't have to be a bottom. Doesn't have to be a bottom. It could be a bottom. This high, this low. If we can get through this junk over here, 144, 149. If we hold resistance here, probably going to the bottom of this box at the minimum, down around 80. BBIO. You may be sitting to yourself like, how do you make this list in the morning? So I go pull on Stock Chameleon. I pull up all the pre-market movers that are moving $2 or more, put them on the list. So these were all things moving up $2 or more pre-market. The decliners were all moving down $2 or more pre-market. And my bonus trade was in a different category. It's a tool that I created. This is Biotech Pharma, one of the things that doesn't always follow the patterns. That was interesting. The background has disappeared. It came back. The downtrend of highs. No bueno. I don't like it. And SOXL, 3x bull, leveraged on chips, turned down at the roadmap line. This is cautionary. You'd be like, well, JT, I don't believe that chips are showing that much weakness. Well, all these charts would argue otherwise. SOXX, arguing otherwise. USD, arguing otherwise. We've rejected right at that 618 on so many of those charts. Be careful. Now, for decliners, look at that. Ouch. Why do I care so much about the 618 retrace and the gaps? That high, that low. See where we retrace to? Boom, right down there. Ouch. Gap fill right there. Actually exceeding the gap fill. See that gap we left right over there? Gapped up and gapped right back down. Golly, man. Now, where might the big thing? Where might the bottom be, right? That move, this move. Oh, put that right there. Could be at the bottom. May extend down to 65 right there. May. Yeah, 65, some confluence right there. So we may see this one pop on down to here, find a bottom, and then we could be potentially done, or this could just be when we go bigger. Looking at the bigger picture. we've now made this pullback, stopped at that 618. This thing could, in fact, going down. It's not going to go negative. We're going to have to flip this to log mode. It could go on down to 34. That move, that move, that move right there, 34. Ouch. Ulta reporting that their customers not as enthusiastic to buy. Maybe feeling a little stressed. Heard that from Dollar General, heard that from Target, heard that from several people now. Several customer-facing servicing brands. Consumer, I mean, I should, not customer, consumer, you know, that's end user. Haven't broken lower though. That could just be, even though the news is bad, this could actually turn and burn here. This might be, let's go look at it. Let's go look at it right here. So we did make the lows back down here. We hit the fib line. We hit the target on the downside that I had. Sometimes I get lucky with those. Moved up, retraced to a 618. Nice green candle. If we break this high, and then subsequently break the roadmap line. I know I drew that crooked as a Home Depot 2x4. Get up through that roadmap line. That could be heading on up. Could be heading on up. We could be talking 600, maybe even something more glorious to the upside. 800 maybe. So those are the things to watch. You know, why do I look at the decliners? Because, well, sometimes you can find the gold opportunity right here, which is if you were super faithful, you could just buy that now. A few shares, lock it up for a few years, could double, triple your money right there on Ulta. ALNY, just remember to know when you're wrong. It's not being wrong that costs you big money, it's staying wrong. So if Ulta starts being weak and making lower low than it did, probably need to bail because it's not showing that it's doing all the bullish things. You know, all those layers I said it had to break above, we got to keep breaking above them. If we start breaking down below this low we made today and this low we made last week or 2 weeks ago, it's time to GTFO. All right. Time to GTFO. Range breakout. That's a funny little thing there. let's see. ALNY. Pharmaceutical. Reach targets. May retrace back to the roadmap line. And the bonus today, MTSI. Dun, 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 dun. And there's the potential. We closed above the 618. Target up there, 123. Nice fat upside, like $13 upside. Holy moly. And somebody was saying, JT, you know, usually your bonus trades are kind of small. Well, they're not all created equal. I don't have the magic wand to make it set up when it's not set up. And let me go over here and pull up I did bring the statistics for this one. While I could generate them live, I just did a screenshot with the chart and everything. So this is official target 122.93, stop below 89. So yeah, it's kind of fat, but there you go. So it's target is the 12 is 90% of the way to the 1272 extension of this whole pullback, and stop $1 below the low. That's how it works. 89, and we can see they have typically lasted 22 trading days over the last 14 trades since 2012, with a 78% win rate and a 3 profit factor. So those 20% of times that have lost, the wins are 200% bigger than the losses. You know, basically, the wins have eaten up the losses plus 200%. So that's what that says. You know, if you're not familiar with profit factor, it's gross wins, gross profit divided by gross loss. Get the ratio. So a 1-to-1 means the losses eat up all the wins. And it's based on all the trades, not on, you know, just 1-for-1 trades. So take gross profit, that's all the profit from all the wins, all the losses from all the losses, divide them out. Profit factor 3 is pretty darn good. 22 days on average, so we're looking like just over a month, potentially. This one could be a pretty good one. I don't know that there's any options. Now, it could last twice as long. It could last 44 bars easily. Could last even 3 times longer, 66 bars. Could last 96 days. Now, why are the days longer than the bars? Because of weekends and days like Monday that are closed. You know, Monday's not going to make a candle because the market's closed. That's why that works. That's how that works. All right. Let me know in the chat if you like these bonus trades. Give me a thumbs up. And as Goose said, DG, dump it out. We were talking about that yesterday with DLTR and DG. And that was a big gap down yesterday. And maybe making a bottom, maybe not. Starting to move up $2 today. That could be the bottom. I mean, we basically hit the target on the downside. Look at that. There was a roadmap bounce right down to the target. That could be the bottom. That could be it. But like Ulta, we got to see the reversal shape up and get out of here. SPX. So my bias for the day. Here we are, the last trading day in August. My bias for today is looking for that breakout. Like I'm still cautious, still sitting in between. If we can break above the highs of the last few days, probably cruising on up to 57.50. If we break down below the low from Wednesday, probably cruising down to a gap fill on S&P. So that's the long and the short of it right there. Long and the short of it. All right. And I'll be in Discord hanging out. I don't have anything else scheduled today, so I'll kind of be around working on potentially new stuff for you. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye for now.